there, guys. Obviously I did a review probably about a year ago now. It might have been in the summer. We had a big ivy tree fell into our garden from the next door. It was quite a large tree. Obviously the birds liked it. There's lots of berries on there, so we weren't too bothered that it was a massive ivy tree. But we had some storms, and obviously the tree fell down into our garden and smashed all the fencing and did about £3.5 worth of damage, £3,500 worth of UK damage. Not sure what that is in dollars, but anyhow, cut a long story short, we'd already built an extension. This is the unit I'm sitting in now, and so I'd kind of got rid of my dry log store, wet log store, and chainsaws and things like that. So I was kind of a little bit stuck of what to do. I tried cutting with a handsaw, and obviously, got arthritis in my hands, so that was kind of hard work. I then got out a Black & Decker Scorpion, I think it is. It's got like a reciprocating blade that goes backwards and forwards, but that was quite hard to kind of hold in place and would jump out at you, or if you didn't hold it sort of securely against the piece of wood that you were cutting or the branch that you were cutting, it would sort of cause a little bit of shock to your arms and throw back a little bit, which was not very pleasant to use. And so kind of I looked around on the internet and I found this little product, a Bosch Easy Cut 12. Now, there was mixed reviews, people saying the blade would break, wasn't fit for purpose, batteries didn't last too long, but you've got to remember it's only a 10-volt system. It's a 12-volt system, sorry. So it's a 12-volt system by Bosch, 10-volt in some countries, and it's obviously using the nanoblade technology. I'm not sure if you can see that on there. It just says nanoblade, and that's actually one of these things. So this is a nanoblade, and I guess for all intents and purposes it looks like a mini chainsaw. Like I said, the tree had fallen into our garden, and it was a large tree. We're talking pretty big, and obviously that tree had caused us a lot of damage. £3,500 in the UK sterling of money to replace all the fencing and the panels and pretty much everything else. And we got all that done after we chopped the tree, but I didn't have a chainsaw. The unit I'm currently sitting in is my little workshop, my little sort of man den, if you like. And it's where I started a little business, which has now been sold, and I now work for a company that bought that business. However, it's now used for me to do some little home projects and make some videos as I'm doing now, and share with you kind of things that I feel need to be shared. Now, I bought this little Bosch Easy Cut 12 with a miniature little nano blade, as you can see, just about. And obviously I took a punt on it. I didn't know if it was going to do the job, but it's got this little miniature nano blade, looks like a miniature chainsaw, and I was more than happy to give it a go. It wasn't cheap. It was about 125 sterling pounds, I believe, at the time, with one battery, and thankfully we had another Bosch product, little strimmer that had another battery of the same size, so I didn't need to buy a second battery. And pretty much I was shocked. Within a day, we were cutting down this tree from pretty big branches down to some small branches, and pretty much down into baggable size, products to be able to take away, rubble type size bags. And I was quite impressed, and I think during the time that I was using it, lots of reviews saying that the blade would break. I think during the time that it broke, I think I only broke one blade. And I think a lot of the people that were suggesting on reviews that they broke the blade, I'm guessing it depends on if they were twisting the product, or not holding it straight. There's a plate here, and it's there for a reason. And it's I don't know if you can see, but if that's the branch, it has to be held up tight against the branch, at all times, and trying to keep it as square as possible whilst you're using the tool. Lots of people have commented about battery power being pretty poor. To be honest, each battery was lasting about 40 minutes, and that was pretty good going, considering the tree had just fell down. It was a day or so old and was pretty damn wet in terms of it being ivy as well. Ivy's quite a wet wood, whereas other trees would be a bit drier inside on the bark. So yeah, we were pretty impressed. Now, what really kind of got my goat a little bit was there was one of the YouTubers that I actually enjoy watching and like watching, chap by the name, or his channel goes by the name of Wranglestar. And obviously I put some pretty nasty comments on there because I was a bit miffed that he was dissing the tool and saying it wasn't really worthy of being given the Bosch name. And I think he's wrong, and I'm here to prove it. He basically sort of showed how poorly it would cut, but you could see he wasn't using the tool in the way that I've just described. He wasn't keeping, he tried to cut a circular or a radius type joint. It's not the tool that you would use that for. A radius joint would be with a proper jigsaw or a proper bandsaw, in fact, with a very fine blade. Every tool's got its purpose in life. This tool is for gardening and pruning, and for somebody like me who's got arthritis, it's a great tool. And I will, I bought this with my own money. This wasn't me, this isn't Bosch giving this to me to basically sell to you. I bought this with my own hard-earned cash, and I bought it because I had a problem where a tree had fallen into our garden. And since then, we've used it to prune smaller branches on another tree that we have, and it's great. It's a fantastic little tool. If you're elderly or you can't grip something for very long, like I have trouble with, it's a great tool. Now, Wranglestar, talked about how crap it was cutting and how rough the joints were. I just think it wasn't really, used in the proper way, and I'd like to demonstrate that now. So I've just moved the camera a little bit, and I've got a little portable vise here. I'm just going to clamp that up, and we're going to just see kind of how this thing cuts. Now, bearing in mind the blade on here is pretty blunt at the moment. It's been worn down, and when you compare them, I'll try and put the two together. You can kind of see the difference between the blades. Again, on there you can see the difference. This is much sharper, but I'm going to try the blunt blade for the moment, and I'm going to try and cut this with a reasonable excuse me while I get square. Now, alright, it's a bit rough on one side, and that's exactly what Wranglestar demonstrated, because I was using it in that particular manner. Now, and I think that's what he was doing. On one side, it's quite sort of reasonable. Not sure how you can see that on camera, but that's actually quite reasonable. On that side, it's obviously a bit rough. But like I said, it's not designed as a precision tool, which is what was being kind of suggested that this can't achieve. And as a result, I think it was misrepresented in that video. I would guarantee this tool to anybody who needs basically a pruning tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this up again, and I'm going to show you a different way of cutting. And if I can get some space yet, and what I'll do, I'll try and clamp it with my D1 clamps. just dropped the square on the floor, which isn't a great demonstration of my prowess in making videos. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to give it a go, but this time, if we want to do a precision cut, obviously you're limited on the length of the blade, but I'm going to try and cut it this way, and we'll see if we can demonstrate a bit more of an accurate cut. So keeping it square. Ooh, let's get another clamp on there, I think. Right, hopefully that should hold it. So I'm not going to really mark it square, which, you know, this is just purely for the demonstration of a cut that you know, shows how it can be a little bit more smoother on the end when it comes out. I think you'll agree that isn't bad. This is only rough cut wood, but I think you'll agree that's actually quite reasonable on both sides. There's no splintering like Wranglestar showed, and I think it's just because of the way you use it, and that's kind of the point I was trying to make with this video. It's a great tool. It's meant for branches. It's meant for small, you know, sort of pruning chores. And obviously it's you know, it's meant for doing those kinds of jobs. But just to prove a point, I'm going to change the blade over, and we'll try a sharper blade. By the way, it's a quick fit. So if anybody's, this isn't a review of how it works, but this is like a little quick fit lever, so you can lift that lever up, and see if I can do this backwards. But you pop that in there like that, and then you pull that down. And then it popped off. So sorry, it's hard to do it backwards. You pop that down and that pops in and holds the blade in place, so it's now sturdy. So I'm just going to give that one more go. I have to loosen these up a bit. Get a bit more timber. So we'll give that one more go, and this is now a sharp blade. So we'll try that with a sharp blade. And there we go. Reasonably tidy cut. I wouldn't necessarily use it for precision work, like I said. You know, for that I'd use my you know, very expensive DeWalt circular saw or chop saw. But if I'm making a project, something like a little bird house or feeder or something along that lines, I think you know, that would be, you know, perfectly sort of adequate use for this tool. A little bit of sanding. It's just a little project for outdoors. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I might even give that a go and make a project along that lines, just to sort of show that it is a capable little tool. I quite like it. I think it's great for the job. One thing I also do, and I haven't got any here actually, but what I normally do is I tend to sort of put a bit of WD-40 on the blade when you're doing a lot of wet cutting, just to sort of keep it from clogging. And when it's finished, I tend to run the blade with some WD-40 and some silicone lubricant afterwards, just to kind of keep it from rusting and obviously getting stuck. But that's the Easycut 12, the Bosch Easy Cut 12 in fact. There is another one they do, and I have asked them if I can maybe review it, but I think there's two different models. It's more like a jigsaw. And they claim it'll do plunge cuts. I think this could do a plunge cut, in fact. Let's give it a go. That's pretty impressive. So you could cut small squares out if you wanted to cut a small square out, or you were trying to cut a little a door for a little bird nesting house. You could definitely do that with this, like a plunge cut. So yeah, that's pretty good, and I'm impressed with that, and I'm sure you will be too. And hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed my comeback at Wranglestar to say that it is quite capable of cutting wood without splintering, as you can see. And hopefully you'll basically follow me, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Anyway, thanks again, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.